Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
This Sunday, Cubs and Twins game is brought to you by Super America. Get your Not Whole Kids Day vouchers at any local Super America. Welcome to downtown Minneapolis. Sunday, always family day at the ballpark. A little extra special today for dads and their kids. They come to the ballpark. Another giant crowd expected, and fans from both sides joining here today, about the 40,000 fans, as the Twins and Cubs play the rubber game of this series. And the Twins players, a unique aspect of Father's Day, get to take the field before the game with their kids for a little game of catch, a little run around the ballpark to get them set for Father's Day. And Byron Buxton, still looking for his first hit, was a big hit this morning with his youngster as he was out at Target Field enjoying the surroundings. And what surroundings we have. Welcome inside the ballpark. It's a sultry Sunday afternoon, and yes, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there watching today. There's something special about baseball and dads. So many kids play catch for the first time in their backyard with dad. They go to their first ball game or watch their first ball game with dad. And Twins players like Mike Pelfrey and Brian Dozier from both sides of the ledger know just how special this day really is.
Now they have kids, I don't think they care if I went 8 shutout or gave up 20 runs. They all they know is me as dad. And it's playtime. So, I'm blessed to have 3 healthy kids that are all great.
My dad means a lot to me. He's a guy that I guess in the baseball realm of things, he taught me the game. He coached me all throughout my Little League career and everything. But my relationship with my dad goes further than the game of baseball and everything. He taught me how to be a man and a good person, a good Christian guy and everything. So I love my dad more than anything, and it's and happy Father's Day to him.
Well, the Twins blew out the Cubs 7-2 on Friday. Cubs got their revenge in extra innings yesterday, 4-1. Something's got to give. Someone wins the series. Dick Bramer and Bert Blellitt paint the picture. It's the rubber game. The Twins and the Cubs up next on Fox Sports North.
baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Dodge. Come discover great deals during the Dodge Drive and Discover event. By Budweiser. Budweiser, make a plan to make it home. And by Luther Nissan Kia. 2 locations, 1 very low price. Well-pitched, low-scoring games have been the norm for the Minnesota Twins lately. We expect another one today with Jake Arrieta making the start for the Chicago Cubs and Kyle Gibson the start for the Minnesota Twins. And we welcome you to Target Field. Happy Father's Day. Dick and Bert with you for the series finale. The Minnesota Twins have not won as many games in June as they would like, but long-term, the encouraging thing is the starting rotation throughout May and into June has been outstanding.
Yeah, it really has. It's really picked up, especially in the last couple of months. And combined, these 5 starters, a 3.72 ERA. Everybody's doing their job over the last 5 starts for these guys. A combined 1.80 earned run average. You can see where they compare to the last 3 years. It's been frustrating here in Minnesota watching the starters go about their business.
Kyle Gibson didn't pitch particularly well in April. He was outstanding in May, but now he's had some difficulty again in June.
And he's coming off a tough loss against the Cardinals that he lost 3-2. He pitched a good ball game. A quality start for Kyle Gibson. He hopes to have a quality start here against the Cubs.
The Chicago Cubs have been one of the surprise teams in the National League. The winning record, they are contending for a postseason berth. Anthony Rizzo showing some maturity this year. Seems to really enjoy hitting here.
Well, you know, the Cubs have a lot of young players, and Rizzo, only 25 years old, 32 home runs last year, having a very good series. First couple ball games, 4 for 6. A couple nights ago, 2 home runs, and then yesterday added a double.
Well, the Twins hope to win a series here against the Chicago Cubs. They've got the other Chicago team coming in for a 3-game series starting tomorrow night. They would like to start that series with a little momentum. Final game between the Twins and the Cubs coming up.
Your dad's always the one that played catch with you and took you to the yard and as your young kid give you advice.
My dad was a pillar for me, exemplary in how he took care of his family.
I wouldn't be where I am today without my dad, so playing on Father's Day and being able to, represent him and myself, it's always fun.
fathers, we raise our young boys and our beautiful daughters. We try to raise them. We go out and we provide for them. We protect those guys.
This is back. This is gone. Unbelievable.
I think I'm the happiest father in this world right now.
You know, it's a special thing, you know, dads in baseball, dads and their sons.
Father's Day is a chance for me to pause and think about the great influence I had from my dad.
And this Father's Day couldn't be happening on a more gorgeous Sunday afternoon than this one. It is just spectacularly perfect here for a baseball game.
I know, Dick, you and I have lost our pops, but the memories will last forever in our hearts.
And we do wish everyone out there, even the mothers, a happy Father's Day. You can do that, right? You want to have the mothers to enjoy the day as well. Joe Madden, career against the Twins, kind of fattened up his record over the last 4 years when the Rays were really good and the Twins were struggling. The Menards batting order for the Cubs: Dexter Fowler leading off. And Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, Miguel Montero, Starlin Castro, Chris Coughlin, Chris DeNorme, Kyle Schwarber, and Addison Russell.
And it'll be Kyle Gibson on the mound here this afternoon. 27 years old, 6'6", about 215, making his 14th start of the year. Now, he has struggled in interleague play, so he's looking for a better outing. This is his third interleague start this year, already 0-2 with a 5.68 ERA. First career appearance against the Cubs.
And a first pitch strike to Dexter Fowler. And a second pitch strike.
Gibson coming off a start in St. Louis last Tuesday where he gave up only 3 runs in 6 innings. Twins ended up losing that ball game 3-2, but he pitched a quality start.
Inside. Fowler, Rizzo, and Bryant here in the first inning. And a strikeout to start Gibson's Father's Day.
Good changeup right there. Gibson picks up a strikeout.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Eddie Rosario in left, Byron Buxton in center, Torrey Hunter in right, Luke Escobar, Dozier, Mauer, Chris Herman around the mound. Herman's got some really well-pitched games, so you have to give the backup catcher some credit for, I'm sure, learning an awful lot from Kurt Suzuki and taking that onto the field on the days that he's asked to catch.
Both catchers here for the Twins do a good job of moving left and right behind the plate, trying to make that plate expand a little bit.
Here's how highly the Twins think of Chris Herman. Eric Fryer, who was also in the catching mix in spring training, has been at Rochester. Fryer's hitting about 350 down there, catching on an everyday basis now that Josmil Pinto's had some concussion issues, and you don't hear a word about the Twins bringing up Eric Fryer because they really like Herman as the backup. 1-1. And now inside 2-1.
And we kind of highlighted Rizzo in the open, just 25 years old. This is his 4th season with the Cubs. Originally signed by the Boston Red Sox back in 2007. And spent some time with the Padres, came up in 2011, but an all-star last year for the Cubs when he hit 32 home runs.
Slash to left field. Rosario will cut it off and spin and fire, and Rizzo's aboard with a 1-out single.
He came into that at bat hitting .306. Using the whole field, not only power over the right field wall, which we saw here a couple nights ago, even in yesterday's ballgame, got a fastball from Trevor May and took it right down that third baseline for an RBI double. Here taking a pitch and hitting that gap out in left center.
He was, I think, misidentified in one of the papers here as being slow-footed. He's got 10 steals. He can do a little bit of everything. Runner at first, 1 down, and now Chris Bryant.
Gibson very good at holding on base runners, though.
And very good at getting ground ball double plays, too. He delivers ball 1 to Bryant.
Now 16 double plays turned behind him so far this year for Kyle Gibson. And Chris Bryant actually been pretty silent the first couple ball games. Hopefully Gibson will keep him that way. A lot of talent in this young 23-year-old in his rookie season.
And there goes Rizzo on the pitch. Grounded to Mauer.
Yeah.
Brian Weekly grounding out to Mauer, but Rizzo taking off. He'll gain second base.
Yeah, it might have been a hit and run because of where that pitch was and how Bryant went after it. Looked like a slider down and away, and the hit and run, you're usually trying to hit the ball the other way, which he did, but right off the end of the bat. A slider. Rizzo, nothing he can do except try to kind of half-heartedly hit it right to Joe Mauer for the second out, but Rizzo does get in scoring position.
Now the catcher Montero with Rizzo in scoring position. Fouled away, 1 strike.
Montero in his first season with the Cubs, traded by Arizona over the winter for a couple minor league players. Career .263 hitter. Earlier this season hit his 100th home run. Sitting at 106 now in his career.
1 strike. Rear back threw the fastball by him, gets a swing and a miss. 0-2.
Now Kyle has 3 basic pitches, a fastball, and he can throw that 2-seamer, get some ground balls. That last one more the 4-seamer at 92 miles an hour. We saw the slider that he threw to Bryant, and then he struck out Fowler on the changeup. And time to time he'll mix in a slow curveball.
Nice block by Herman. It's one of the things the Twins are very impressed with. Herman's blocking skills behind the plate.
Well, you're looking for something off speed, and that's a changeup right there. Herman does a good job dropping to his knees and utilizing his body as a shield to kind of deaden that ball.
1-2. Oh, Gibson with a step toward his dugout because he thought he shaved the corner.
Yeah, sometimes he'll throw that 2-seamer in and it'll come back over a little bit. And it just looked like he missed right there. Paul Schreiber behind the plate.
Just off the plate. That was a ball.
That's a strike. Here we go. Come on, it's Father's Day.
2-2. Now inside dugout of the dirt again, and it's 3-2 with Castro on deck.
Now Kyle's averaged about 3 walks per 9 innings. About 5 strikeouts per 9. That's basically where his career numbers are, making his 55th major league start. 19 wins, 21 losses in his career as a Twin. Number 1 pick by the Twins back in 2009 out of the University of Missouri.
Full count, Rizzo at second, 2 away. There's the inside corner.
Keep hitting it. Hopefully you'll get it. He got it.
A scoreless top of the first for Kyle Gibson. Twins hope to give him an early lead. Paul Molitor had a special thrill. His youngest son and daughter, or youngest 2 children, threw the ceremonial first pitches. So it's a happy Father's Day already for Paul. He'll hope the Twins Menards batting order can score a lot of runs. Brian Dozier, Eddie Rosario, Joe Mauer, Trevor Plouffe, Torrey Hunter, Eduardo Nunez, Chris Herman, Eduardo Escobar, and Byron Buxton.
And they'll have to do it against Jake Arrieta, 29 years old, 6'4", 225. He has been consistent. 9 of his 13 starts so far have been quality starts, making his 14th start overall. The Twins saw him when he was with the Orioles, making his first career start here at Target Field against the Twins.
Strike on the outside corner, ordinarily a control pitcher. Arrieta had some control issues in his last start. 5 innings at home against the Indians, and he walked 6. Dozier takes a strike and now takes a ball.
Yeah, Arrieta making his 5th career start against the Twins. The 4 prior starts were all with the Orioles. He's 2-1 in his career against the Twins with a 4.09 ERA. There's the outing you were talking about against the Indians.
He made 6 starts in May and only walked 7 guys, and he walked 6 in his last start. And now 2-1.
Actually, Arrieta's last 3 out of 4 starts have been against the American League Central Division. He faced Kansas City, Detroit, and Cleveland. And combine those 3 teams, he's 1-1 with an ERA at 5.5.
2-1 to Dozier. Release to left, and Dozier's aboard with a leadoff single. Bring up Rosario with a man aboard. Northland 4 defense for the Cubs. They haven't been as tight defensively as the Twins have been this year. Coughlin, Fowler, and DeNorfia, the outfielders. Bryant, Castro, Russell, Rizzo, the infielders. Montero behind the plate.
Yeah, very young infield especially.
51 errors for the Cubs on the season, 40 for the Twins.
Sometimes with young kids, you get the excitement of trying to overdo too much.
Here's Rosario. Foul, back a strike.
Well, there's Bryant right there, 23 years old. You got Addison, Russell, very young. Castro, still very young. Rizzo, mentioned he's just 25.
1 strike to Rosario. Slap foul, 2 strikes. Twins will have to go 7-2 in the remaining games in June just to get back to the 500 mark in June. But they're playing good baseball, and that 7-2 isn't at all unreasonable. Twins like to think they got a good chance of winning this game. The White Sox have been struggling. The Twins will take on the Brewers and the Reds before the end of the month. Nice block by Montero. That ball landed 5 feet in front of the plate.
Yeah, you know what? If you're a baseball player down in that dugout, you say, okay, yeah, we lost yesterday, but we've won 3 out of the last 4. So you look for the positive. Now, Arrieta, good fastball in the low 90s, slow curveball. We've seen that slider a couple times in the dirt, and then a changeup, also a little cutter off his fastball. A strikeout pitcher, 89 strikeouts in 82 innings pitched coming into this ball game.
Dozier staggers a bit, stumbles a bit, and gets back to the bag. Twins lost 3 base runners in the 8th and 9th inning yesterday between first and second base.
You know, Molitor really didn't have a problem with that, other than maybe Rosario just, you know, taking a little bit too big a lead, getting picked off of first base. Mauer just kind of overslid the bag, and even Buxton, when he tagged up at first base on that fly ball to center, Fowler made a perfect throw to get him.
The Twins fans who've watched it all would agree that Twins are above 500, and the one area that they have excelled in, it's not in the power department, isn't in batting average, but it's been base running. It's led this team to some key runs. There goes Dozier, and the pitch flipped foul. So you don't want one bad game or a sequence of bad base running events to discourage you from continuing to do what got you a winning record in the first place.
Yep, and you know, clubs have run against Arrieta in 16 attempts, 11 successful, steals, and saw Brian Dozier take off right there. And Rosario with 2 strikes, he has to swing at that.
1-2.
Because it was in the strike zone.
Dozier stays put. The ball lined up the middle. One hop by Russell, and it's a double play.
Maybe off the end of the bat. Didn't look as it looked sharper up here. We thought that was going to maybe get into center field, but Russell going to his right got that little first hop, then a flip over to Castro. See where that is? Huh?
Yeah. Just off the end, I think.
It looks like it's going to go up the middle, but then cut off by Russell. Little spin around throw over to Rizzo for the double play.
2 down, and that'll bring up Mauer. And a fastball down the middle of strike. Joe drawing more walks now. The average still down in the 250s, but he is drawing some more walks. Outside, 1-1. In today's game, we're participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every Twins home run in this game raises $22,500 for prostate cancer research, and another $1,000 will be raised for every strikeout recorded by a Twins pitcher today. So far, over $2 million have been raised around MLB, and you can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. 2-1 to Mauer.
Arrieta has given up 8 home runs, again being his 14th start, so pretty stingy. Now, there's about a handful of players that have faced Arrieta, again going back to his Oriole days, and Joe Mauer, one of those. 0 for 5 for Joe. He has drawn a walk against him.
But since those days, he's added a cutter, and he's been a much more effective pitcher with the Cubs than he was with the Orioles. Outside, 3-2, Plouffe on deck.
As an Orioles starter in 63 starts, he was 20-25 with a 5.5 earned run average. But since coming over to the Cubs, 47 starts, 20-12 with an ERA under 3. So yes, he has kind of turned his career around.
Deep to left field, to the corner. Coghlan going back off the wall, and Mauer to second with a double. Ball getting by him, and backing it up is Rizzo. Mauer driving it about halfway up the wall in left field in the corner, and it's a 2-out double.
We've seen all the teams shade Joe Mauer toward that left field line, and Joe got that little cutter, and it just got it underneath it a little bit, but strong enough to hit it off the wall at that 339 mark. So a double for Joe Mauer comes with 2 outs here in the first inning, his 14th double of the year.
And now Plouffe.
Trevor leading the club with 38 runs batted in.
Down and away, ball 1. 4 runs batted in for Plouffe here on Friday night, taking over the team lead. Mauer and Hunter each have 36. Two and 0. 18 pitches for Arrieta, 10 strikes. A couple of early hits, but he got Rosario to hit it off the end of the bat in his at bat. Ended up getting a big double play grounder. And hit the corner. If not a sellout, very close to it. Another wonderful crowd here. The Twins in this homestand, 2 with the Cardinals, and now 3rd game with the Cubs, averaging 36,000 per game.
Tell you what, last night I took my granddaughters, my wife and I and my daughter, to Mall of America, and there were a lot of Cub fans walking around that place. Get over his head.
Bryant snags a line drive, and the Twins strand Mauer at second base. No score after 1.
Twins live crew is wrapping up their weekend at beautiful Wisconsin Dells, and what a weekend for it, where you can get out on the water on whatever watercraft floats your boat. Pontoons, wave runners, ski boats, kayaks, and canoes. You can cruise Lake Delton and its pristine water for a feeling of the Northwoods getaway. If you're going to go to the Wisconsin Dells, guys, this is the type of weather when you want to get there. What a perfect day to be out on the water.
That does look like fun. That looks relaxing.
The pontoon, not the jet ski.
Well, jet ski, too. That's fun. You ever been on a jet ski?
I have never been on a jet ski.
I have. They're a lot of fun.
Starlin Castro to lead off the Cubs second. And he takes up ball one. Castro, Coughlin, and Denorfia. Gibson gave up a one-out single to Rizzo. Left him at second base. Big swing and a miss.
Good breaking ball right there. Good location. Opponents hitting 249 off of Gibson. He has allowed 9 home runs. Left-handers actually hitting less than right-handers. Left-handers hitting 231. Right-handers hitting 266.
And hit the corner, 1-2.
Castro, just 25 years old, out of the Dominican Republic, in his 6th season with the Cubs. 3-time All-Star already. Herman going through a set of signs. Gibson knows what he wants to throw here. It's up to Herman to guess. Fastball away.
Off the plate, and it's 2-2. Castro with the big hit in the ball game late last night. Yesterday afternoon in the 10th inning. Twins lost 4-1. The only run they scored, a Suzuki home run early in the ball game. 2-2 from Gibson to Castro.
Change up here.
And just got a piece of it.
See Herman right now. We just showed you a couple sequence of pitches for Herman. He's kind of going through all of them right now. Gibson knows what he wants to throw right here, and you want maybe sit between innings and talk about your sequence, because Herman and on those, at least those 2 pitches weren't on the same page. There we go. Fastball in.
Chopper to third. Bloof has to hurry, and he tried to barehand it and couldn't. It will be an infield hit for Starlin Castro.
Yeah, that sinker down and in creates a lot of ground ball outs for Gibson, and Castro hit the top half of that ball, which slowed it down, and it becomes almost like a swinging bunt. And the only play for Trevor to come in, try to barehand it, and he just sees that ball came up and ready to throw, but it'll be an infield base hit for Castro.
And now Coughlin.
This is where you need that sinker like he threw to Castro to a left-handed hitter to get that ground ball out. Maybe a double play.
Cubs with the 4th best record in the American League. Twins have in the National League rather, and the Twins have the 5th best record in the American League. Foul back. Gibson getting a strikeout, actually 2 strikeouts and a ground out in his first inning. He'd like to get a ground ball hit at somebody here.
Coughlin, 30 years old, in his 2nd season with the Cubs, 7th overall, 5 seasons with the Florida Marlins.
Looped foul over the Cub dugout. 2 strikes.
Just talking to Kyle Gibson, he's that type of pitcher. He's not going to strike out a lot of guys, even though he did strike out a couple in the first inning. He's a guy that wants something to happen in 3 or 4 pitches. If you can do that, you're going to go deep into the ball game. Last 3 starts, even though he has not won yet, but he went 7, 6, and 6.
That's why It'll be interesting to see. That's the norm now. 6 innings. In fact, the Twins had a couple of 8-inning starts earlier in this homestand as they get ready for another round of National League play. Milwaukee and Cincinnati coming up. Be interesting to see if they stay with 13 pitchers. It becomes a challenge for a manager when you. It's a nice problem to have, but it's a challenge trying to keep 8 relief pitchers sharp when your starters are going 6 or more every night.
Yeah.
2 strikes to Coughlin.
Lost it there. I think a bug threw down. I think it flew in my throat.
You all right?
I think so.
All right. 2 strikes.
They are edible.
And dug out by Herman, 1 and 2.
What I was going to say is Joe Madden, they also carried 13 pitchers in the National League, a lot of clubs, because with the pitcher hitting, they have 4 guys on that bench that he can utilize. But now he loses one because of the DH, and he's in the same situation as Molitor is in with only 3 bench moves.
You like to have some flexibility with some extra bench players for double switches, and you need to pinch hit for your pitchers and such things. 1 and 2 and another foul ball.
Again, it's sad to say, but with the quality of starters not going deep into ball games, now the Twins have been an exception as of late, where the starters have gone 6+ innings. You need that extra reliever, sad to say, which takes a move away from the managers.
Gibson having a tough time getting the first out of this inning. Grounded toward third, backhanded by Plouffe. He'll have no play, so a couple of infield hits have given the Cubs a threat here in the second inning.
Well, he finally went to that sinker down and away, and he got the ground ball out, but Coughlin's right off the end of the bat, and with the shift put on, Plouffe is basically playing shortstop. And by the time he gets over there and feels the ball, all runners are safe. So a couple infield hits for the Cubs.
Saw the Cubs collect a bunch of hits off the end of the bat yesterday in the game. Here is Denorfia. Denorfia just 58 at bats, but 20 hits. Wearing the bunt, and up the line foul, 1 strike.
Yeah, Denorfia, a couple stints on a disabled list. He's had trouble with that left hamstring that has put him on the DL a couple times in his first season with the Cubs, last year with the Seattle Mariners. Gary Jones, the third base coach, as Denorfia looks down at him. Is he going to bunt again? Denorfia has 1 sacrifice on the season so far. Twins looking for the possible bunt.
Plouffe in on the edge of the grass. Bauer even with the base at first. Did he? Well, no appeal even. 1-1.
A lot of different plays that Trevor Plouffe is going through right now to tell his infielders and also the pitcher what play is on. You can crash into the bunt, meaning Trevor Plouffe and Mauer will charge, and Gibson, after he releases it, he has to throw a strike right here. But then you can also have the play where the pitcher covers the third base line to try to get the lead runner at third.
Good bunt, and Herman will make the play to get the out. A sacrifice, sending 2 men into scoring position.
So that was not the crash play, or you would have saw Mauer and Plouffe charging a little bit quicker than they did. But credit Denorfia, did a good job of laying down that bunt. He's getting applauded in the dugout. High fives all around. Slap of the helmet. Getting the barrel of the bat out, and then trying to deaden the ball, and he does a good job of that, getting on the grass. Herman has to get out from behind home plate and make the play.
Now Schwarber. Twins playing the infield back here. Twins have controlled Bryant and Schwarber in this series. A stuff around the hands. Inside, ball one.
And that's where they seem they're trying to pitch him is inside. Schwarber just getting called up over the last 4 or 5 games just to be the designated hitter from Double-A Tennessee, where he was swinging a hot bat.
Cubs head back home after the game, and Schwarber will head down 35W to Des Moines. Down and away 2-0. They picked him up from Double-A, and they're going to send him out to Triple-A.
Just 22 years old. He was a Cubs #1 pick last year out of the University of Indiana, 4th overall pick in that draft. Out of Bloomington, Indiana, the Hoosiers.
2-0 to Schwarber. And now inside 3-0, a base is open, and Addison Russell on deck. And now they're going to, I think, intentionally walk Schwarber. They were trying to see how aggressive he was going to be. Maybe he would get himself out. But now it's 3-0 to fill the bases. An intentional walk.
Intentional walk by Gibson. That's his 3rd intentional walk on the season.
So all that's happened here in this first inning, the Cubs have a couple of scratch singles, infield hits, and then a sacrifice bunt and an intentional walk, and now the bases are loaded. The number 9 batter's up.
Now Gibson needs one of those double plays, something hit hard at one of his infielders.
Also a tough guy to double up. He's only grounded into 1 double play in 183 at bats.
Well, he's due then.
Check swing and an appeal. Nope, ball 1.
Russell only 21 years old. In his rookie season, started in Triple-A, got called up in late April.
Foul back 1-1. Russell will strike out. More than one every 3 times he's struck out. So Gibson, who picked up a couple in the first inning, will try to get another one here in the second.
Yeah, first 2 pitches inside to Russell. See if they can kind of tie him up here and hopefully maybe a little pop it up. A little bit of an open stance by Russell.
Taken low, 2-1. Spot early here for Kyle Gibson and the Twins, trying to get out of this second inning. Popped up right side. Infield fly rule should be called.
They got underneath that slider and popped it up, and Dozier calling Mauer off for the second out. So a big pitch right there for Kyle Gibson. Saw Trevor May in yesterday's ballgame do a great job of getting out of a jam in the 6th inning by picking up 3 strikeouts. And there was an intentional walk in that inning, too.
And I think that as the second out was recorded in that inning, you said, okay, you're still not done. You've still got work to do. Right. And that might be what Herman and Gibson are talking about during that little chat. All right, that was a nice job, but we still got one more to get here.
Yeah, you know what? As a young pitcher, I kind of went through that myself, where you say, boy, I got that big second out. Then you kind of relax, and all of a sudden, here's a base hit, and you look yourself in the mirror and say, you got to bear down, man. You got to learn. And sometimes it takes time.
Out in front, strike 1.
Good pitch right there. That was a changeup right there. It had that sink on it, almost like a Pelfrey type splitter.
In the first inning, Gibson left Rizzo in scoring position at second base. Now he's trying to leave the bases full. Just missed inside with a fastball.
Those fastballs inside that he has been throwing to a lot of these hitters, especially the left-handers, establish also that sinker away. But he's been pitching a lot of the lefties inside. Going back in again. And the thing is, sometimes if you miss there, then it puts that hitter into a very favorable count. lot of pitches this inning.
Yeah, nothing hit out of the infield. Nothing hit hard at all. 2-1 to Fowler.
Now watch Herman right here. He's not going to maybe move inside again. He does, and there's a pitch.
Deflected to the shortstop, tapping the bag, and the Cubs leave the bases full. They worked over Fowler inside 3 straight pitches, and the third time was a charge. Lead things off. It'll be Hunter, Nunez, and Herman.
Torrey has the most hits against, or at bats against Arrieta. He has 3 hits against him. Arrieta 20 pitches in that first inning, 12 strikes.
And Hunter takes a strike at the knees. Fouled away. 0-2. First day of summer, and it couldn't be better. Just gorgeous today. Glad you're with us, spending part of your Father's Day with Twins baseball. 0-2. Arrieta to Hunter. 1-2. Chopper, and Arrieta pounces off the mound to make the play. 1 down. Bring up Nunez. You can fill out your 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot now at twinsbaseball.com. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Vote up to 35 times at twinsbaseball.com. The hope is the Twins will have at least 2 All-Stars, and my hope is that Brian Dozier is one of them.
Let's go get out there and vote for Brian Dozier.
Is helped at a very competitive position, second base. There's some really good ones.
Yes, there are.
Jose Altuve's been hurt, trying to come back from a hamstring injury. Robinson Cano hasn't hit particularly well for Seattle. Dustin Pedroia's team isn't very good. He might be the best player on that team, but even his numbers are down a little bit. So the hope is Dozier, who was in the home run hitting contest last year here at Target Field, will actually play in the real game this year. Nunez takes 2 strikes. Nunez hit across the knuckles of both hands here on Friday night. Swung at a pitch, and it got the top 2 fingers of his left hand and all 4 of his right hand. That's to center. And Fowler over a few steps to make the catch. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by Super America. Get your Knothole Kids Day vouchers at any local Super America. 2 down in the second, and now Chris Herman will hit against Arrieta. And a strike on the outside corner.
It's funny that Chris Herman in spring training, he played almost every position, but so far here, I think he's only caught. I don't believe he has played anywhere else.
I don't think he's played an inning anywhere.
Right.
Foul back, 2 strikes.
It's nice to have a versatile player like Herman. You know, you mentioned Eric Fryer, but he's kind of a guy that might be able to play some first base. But Herman, we saw him, you know, he could play third, he could play the outfield.
Checked his swing, close check, and it's 1-2.
A tight curveball right there by Arrieta. Herman able to hold up.
Twins are doing a nice thing since this is Father's Day up on the video board here. And the Twins are putting up father-son pictures. Herman strikes out, but there needs to be a throw to complete the strikeout and the inning. A 1-2-3 second inning, and we head to the third with no score.
Always the one to play catch with you and took you to the yard and
just motivate you to do better.
My dad was a pillar for me, exemplary in how he took care of his family.
Being able to, you know, represent him and myself, it's always fun.
A lot of good memories of Pops.
And you see it so often here at the ballpark, young kids sharing the game of baseball with both their mothers and their fathers and their grandparents. Rizzo taps it up the line, foul. We would come to Twins games once a year from western Minnesota. And that was at my father's insistence. That was my exposure to big league baseball. Rizzo at the plate. He singled, went to second, and was left there in the first inning. Gibson hoping for an easier time of it. He had to wriggle his way out of a little bit of a situation in the first inning and then left the bases full in the second.
Let me ask you, you remember your Pops playing catch with you?
Yeah, there's the Carsoup.com trivia question. The last National League player to have 200 hits in a season. 1-1 to Rizzo. This is a true story. You know, go out in the backyard, and he said, now just, you know, keep your eye on the ball. And then he proceeded to give me a black eye.
But you did well.
I did what my father said, and I got hit in the eye with a baseball and got a black eye.
But you kept your eye on it. That's good.
Gibson working Rizzo inside and missing. 3-1. Then Bryant and Montero.
Yeah, I mean, that's good, but you know, Gibson's strength is also that sinker down and away, and if you keep going in, you fall into counts like this. Even with Fowler up as a 2-1 pitch, and he got lucky that he got a piece of that. There's a pitch inside. That's good if that umpire's giving you that inner part of that plate, but if you fall behind 3-1, especially to a guy like Rizzo, that's good sometimes for trouble. This is a changeup right here.
And he got a piece of it. Gibson, when we've seen him do it regularly this year, getting into a groove where he succeeds in getting the out in 2 or 3 pitches. You know, in a string of those in a row, and pretty soon he's pitching in the 7th or 8th inning, but nothing's come easy for him here.
We showed this yesterday. Rizzo choking up with 2 strikes, just trying to put the ball in play. And there's a walk inside.
Leadoff man is on again here in the 3rd. T-Mobile Game Changers, the starting rotation. You look in the bottom line there, the starters ERA in the last 3 years.
Yeah, these 5 starters right here combined 3.72 earned run average. So you see how much difference it is from that the lower numbers over the last 3 years. And for the second time this year, all the way through the 1 through 5 pitchers, they've had quality starts over the last 7 outings. You can see the low ERA, but over the last 5 starts for the starters, a combined 2-1 record, 1.80 ERA, and they've worked a total of 35 innings. So figure that out. That's average 7 innings an outing.
0-2 now to Bryant.
I did that all by myself too.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank you.
The Royals are the team to beat in the division, and the Twins starters ERA is just about a half run better than Kansas City's. And you and Jack Morris and I were talking before the game today. The main reason why I think this can sustain itself, this Twins team above 500 and contending for a playoff spot, is something I think he brought up in the pregame show. 1 through 5, you can make the case that the Twins have the best rotation in the division. They don't have a number 1 like a David Price or anything like that, or a Chris Sale. Nice block by Herman, but over the course of a regular season, certainly a number 4 starter and very often a number 5 starter, they get as many starts, as many opportunities to win a game as a David Price would.
Yeah, it's not, you go back to your number 1 guy all the time. Maybe Detroit will, because they don't really have a 4 or 5 right now. Kansas City, they're looking for that 4th and 5th starter with Ventura on a disabled list. Joe Blanton started the other day, a reliever, former starter.
Bryant strikes out. He's 0 for 10 in the series, 1 down. And then there's this. In a couple of weeks, Irvin Santana will almost certainly rejoin the rotation. The presumed opening day starter for the Twins, the guy who signed the biggest contract in Twins history, has yet to throw a pitch for them.
Yeah, he worked 5 2/3 innings, ended up throwing 88 pitches, so that's a good sign right there. 53 of those 88 were strikes. A couple walks, 3 strikeouts.
Here's Montero. Gibson would love to get 2 outs on 1 pitch, since he's had a difficult time getting just about every out he's gotten. There's a dribbler foul.
Yeah, and that has brought that pitch count up now to 55, looking for the 2nd out here in the 3rd inning. So he does. He needs a couple pitches that he can keep down in the zone. Hopefully Montero will turn over on it and hit into a double play.
Twins haven't certainly discounted the notion that Ricky Nolasco will be making some starts for them. They're hoping that orthotics will help his injured foot.
Well, you're talking about 7 guys total right there, and sure hope they don't go to a 7-man rotation. Now, Terry Ryan has already said he doesn't like the 6-man rotation. You want to make sure that the Pelfreys, who are pitching so well, the Gibsons, are out there every 5th day, and if there's an off day, then the 6th day.
This rotation right now, one of the best in the American League in terms of earned run average. 1 strike to Montero, and now a ball. And the names we're throwing out there as being of some help are Ricky Nolasco, Irvin Santana. God bless them. We're not talking about P.J. Walters or people like that.
Right.
These are established veterans who are hoping to contribute in the second half of the year. 1-1 to Montero. Two and one. Gibson's ball strike ratio a little skewed here today.
Not good at all. 31 strikes, 26 balls. You got to keep an eye on Rizzo. You mentioned 10 stolen bases, but I see him from here. He kind of takes that walking lead if you don't pay attention to him. He's sneaky weaky.
3-1. Gibson pitched from the windup to the first batter of the game, and he hasn't thrown many pitches from the windup ever since.
Again, he has to trust that two-seam sinking fastball outer half of the plate, and he seems to be pitching a lot of these lefties in. Maybe that's the game plan here this afternoon, but he has struggled with it.
3-1. Fouled back 3-2. Montero tried to send one onto the plaza.
Because where that pitch was, you fall behind, you have to come in with the strike. It's a hitter's count, and Montero just got underneath that fastball. Let's see if Rizzo takes off here. Herman, very good arm behind the plate. Gibson, very good at holding on runners.
Rizzo goes, and a ball lined toward right center field. Buxton charges, and Rizzo will be held at third. So more trouble for Gibson. First and third, one out, and Starlin Castro to the plate.
That fastball up, and Montero did not miss this one. So he picks up his first hit, the fourth hit for the Cubs. See a fastball right there. And Rizzo, who was running on the pitch, makes it over to third. Gibson making sure who is covering second base in case the ball is hit back to him. And Escobar, he pointed at Escobar, the shortstop.
Castro's hit into 10 ground ball double plays. Gibson will try to make it 11 here in this at bat. To right center field. Hunter with the catch, tagging from third. Rizzo will score the game's first run.
And Castro picking up his 35th run batted in on the sacrifice fly.
And the outs are coming more on fly balls and strikeouts than ground balls. Not counting the sacrifice bunt, there have been only 2 ground ball outs so far. Coughlin singled. Hit a ball right off the end of the bat to the left side of the infield. There was only one infielder there, and Plouffe had no play, backhanding the grounder. Down and in, ball one. On the outside corner.
There's a good pitch right there. Well, 16 in the first, 27 in the second, right now 20. So a high pitch count in the first 3 innings for Kyle Gibson. It comes into play so much in today's game because of that 100 pitch count. We saw Gibson struggle 3 starts ago against the Brewers. Remember, he gave up 5 runs, 3 home runs in the first 3 innings. Then he settled down nicely and ended up working 4 shutout innings after that. No decision. Twins lost that ball game late, 10-5, but he threw 101 pitches in the 7 innings. But he is kind of all over the place here this afternoon.
65 pitches, 35 strikes.
You know, that game plan of them busting the left-handers in, we've seen all the lefties. He's going in, but I guarantee you, of 3 pitches, only 1 has been over the strike on the inner half of the plate. So sometimes you have to change your routine. There's a good pitch right there.
Coughlin was on his way to first. It's a full count. With 2 down, Montero will take off early.
That 2-seamer has a little movement. And right there, good strike.
Couldn't have hit it with a canoe paddle. Runner goes, and the pitch nub back to the mound. Easy play for Gibson. And the inning ends. A leadoff walk comes back to haunt Kyle Gibson. It's 1-0. Century Link, your link to what's next. By NorthlandFord.com and your local Northland Ford dealer. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Twins have hit the ball harder than the Cubs so far in this game, but the Cubs have the only run as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning.
See Neil Allen right there talking to Gibson, maybe saying, you know, hey, if that umpire's not giving you much inside, go away like that pitch to Coughlin. We'll go over that next inning.
Here's Escobar. And he watches ball 1. Escobar slid his hand up the bat barrel and took ball 1. Buxton and Dozier will follow. And that's off the helmet, mask, equipment of Miguel Montero. 1-1. And now 2-1. Did you care one way or the other? We just saw Paul Schreiber throw the ball back to the pitcher. Did you care whether the umpire did it or the catcher?
Unless the umpire had a better arm than me, no. Steve Palermo had a great arm, and he would always throw it back. And one time I took my glove off and caught it barehanded just to show him up, and that hurt. It hurt my hand.
Also probably shrunk the strike zone down to the size of a postage stamp.
No, we laughed at each other. He was a very, very good umpire.
2-2 to Escobar. That's to left, hanging in the air for Coughlin. 1 down. And that'll bring up Buxton. Take your family to the ballpark this summer in the Minnesota Twins Our Family section, presented by Fox Sports North. Tickets in the alcohol-free section start at just $10 and include a free Schweigert hot dog and Pepsi. For ticket information, visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the upcoming events on the Hot Topics bar. Byron Buxton made his major league debut a week ago today. He's gotten 2 hits and 22 at-bats in his first week in the big leagues. There's a chopper right back to the mound. Kicked by the pitcher, and Buxton will reach on an error. Couldn't have an easier play, I don't think. And Buxton and his speed are aboard.
Even the best athletes on the field make errors. Arrieta right here. I mean, he bounced off the mound to get the Hunter's ball, but this ball right back at him, and it's the old whoops. Buxton swinging at that first pitch. The ball, he thought that ball would come up, and it did not.
Well, now Buxton at first. He's been thrown out in his only stolen base attempt. Tried to advance on a fly ball yesterday. Really good chance, I would think, here that he'll try to take off. Down and away, ball one.
And you know what, to your point, Dick, Arrieta has that high leg kick, so if you can time him and take off once he starts that left leg up, you get him maybe an extra step or two, and that's what Buxton might need. 11 stolen bases in 16 attempts against Arrieta, so clubs have run against him.
Outside again, 2-0.
Sometimes that speed as a pitcher, you're thinking about him. You know, if Ricky Henderson's at first base, you're thinking more about him than you say sometimes about the hitter at the plate.
I don't think there's any question that was an issue in Texas when Buxton was at first and Rosario was at the plate, and there were throwovers and lookovers and all that. Rosario ended up with a cookie, and he smashed what turned out to be the game-winning double. I was surprised the Twins didn't send Dozier in the first inning. And the Twins ended up, Rosario did, grounding into a double play. 2-0.
Yeah, Buxton down in Chattanooga, Double-A, 20 stolen bases in 22 attempts.
And a look over.
There you go. I mean, Arrieta was told, probably watch this guy. He's quick. So sometimes you put your attention more on Buxton than you are about Dozier. Now Dozier in a hitter's count.
Taken for a strike, 2-1.
That little cutter that you mentioned about that kind of helped Arrieta kind of turn his career around in the National League. Added that cut fastball.
See if the Twins send Buxton on this 2-1 pitch. No. And Dozier foul tips. 2-2.
Another cutter that had some velocity on it. 92. You know, Buxton may have the green light. Maybe he's just having a tough time, you know,
getting a read
on Arrieta. He's kind of changing his how long he holds it on the mound.
There he goes. And Dozier lifts it high and fairly deep to left field. Coughlin going back. And he makes the catch, fighting the sun, and Buxton retreats. 2 down. Let's bring in Kevin Gord.
Yeah, guys, Byron Buxton might have had that base stolen, but obviously Dozier flew that ball deep to left center. His manager, Paul Maurer, spoke this morning about knowing he's pressing to try to get that first hit at home, but really liked the progress he saw yesterday. The patience at the plate to draw a couple of walks. Said he's taking baby steps in that direction. Loves when he gets on base. That speed dynamic, how it changes the game. And I asked Byron Buxton if he is pressing. He said, no doubt about it. I want to get my first hit here. I want to get that monkey off my back, but I'm trying in every at-bat not to think about that and just have good at-bats. And yesterday, guys, he certainly showed he can do just that.
Twins would like to see Buxton open it up here on a Rosario extra base hit. With 2 down, maybe Buxton will take off here. Rosario hit one up the middle, but he hit it right off the end of the bat into a double play.
Yeah, with 2 outs now, you know, worse things happen. Something, say he does get thrown out. You got Rosario leading off the next inning. Still early in the ball game.
Buxton goes. Pitch down and in, and the throw nearly hit Arrieta, and it skips by Castro. And Buxton will go to third. A terrible throw by Montero, but how in the world does Castro not block that ball?
Arrieta already off the mound. He tried to jump to get out of the way. There goes Buxton, his first stolen base on a good pitch. Almost hits Arrieta in the heel.
Why would Castro try to field the ball as he did?
I think talking to Joe Madden about the young shortstop Castro, that he does have these little mental blocks that, we saw in the first game kind of hold the ball. Let Rosario score from third base.
Just play hockey goalie there. Just block the ball. And the air goes to
the catcher.
Really?
Well, yeah, the ball was in left field.
Popped up. And hit right at Fowler.
Warner hit his pitcher.
And so Buxton's left at third base. It's 1-0 Cubs. Guided tour of the Lower Dells Glacial Park aboard the Dells Army Ducks. Discover the sandstone rock formations of the Wisconsin River and cruise Lake Delton on a 1-hour land and water excursion, which is sure to be one of the most unique ways to experience the Dells. Now, I know a lot of people when they go to Boston use those duck boat to go on a tour in Boston. Have you ever done that?
Yes, I have.
How much time do you actually spend in the water?
No water. No, that's that duck boat that goes around to all the historical sites and stays on land. Yes,
it does.
Doesn't go on.
Well, that wouldn't be any fun.
You get to see all the historical sites in Boston.
You could just go on a bus then.
Well, but it's like a duck. Kind of cool. It's a duck bus.
A duck, unless it goes in the water, is just a bird.
Yeah, you're right. It is a bird.
Well, what's the attraction? I thought they went in the water.
No, this one that I went on did not.
1-2 to Kristen Orfeo.
It was a land duck.
And strike three.
There's a good pitch right there. You know, I'm talking about Kyle Gibson maybe making an adjustment. That's what Neil Allen maybe was talking to him between innings, because look at this pitch right there. He missed inside. That was Coughlin in the last inning, and he kept going in and in and in and missing. And right there, you see that umpire giving him that, and then that sinker down gets the out. So sometimes you have to make the adjustment to the umpire, what he's giving you, what he's not giving you, and also what's working for you and what is not.
94-mile-per-hour fastball gets a swing and a miss, and we'll see how long Gibson can stay in the windup here. He hasn't thrown more than a handful of pitches from the windup. One and one.
Needs a quick inning right here. 4 strikeouts for Gibson.
Breaking ball missing low, 2-1. Cubs have had a man in scoring position in every inning so far, not just on base, but in scoring position. 2-1. That's to center.
There's a good pitch.
Buxton
Fastball
glides
down
back.
and away.
2 down. Addison Russell will hit, but first our Sanford Health injury report. A hip problem for Jared Weaver, who's had a tough time in his last few starts. Had it going there for a while in May, but June's not been kind to him at all.
Yeah, he struggled early on, started to pick it up, and now with that hip inflammation, that will set him back a little bit. And the Angels in third place, trying to catch the Houston Astros 4.5 games back.
Angels are 1 game above the 500 mark. The Tigers are at 500. Some teams that were supposed to be very good in their divisions are struggling, and the Twins among the list of teams off to good starts, surprisingly good starts, like the Rangers and the Astros.
And we have to congratulate Max Scherzer too on his no-hitter last night.
Near perfect game.
Yep. 1 out away.
1-1 to Russell. 1-2.
Change up there. Good sink on that change up. Couple walks, 1 intentional for Gibson. 4 hits allowed, 4 strikeouts.
And in the dirt, 2-2.
Slider.
Broke in front of the plate.
You know, one thing I think we have seen, of course, Pelfrey has a lot of major league starts. Phil Hughes has a lot of major league starts. And Gibson and May, these two, they're starting to learn, I think, how to pitch to make the adjustment a little bit. Gibson's struggling here, but I thought May adjusted well yesterday.
The line foul. Late yesterday, Max Scherzer 1 batter away from a perfect game, and Jose Tabata stuck the elbow down and was hit by a pitch.
Yeah, some umpires would say that he did not try to get out of the way. You can almost see him drop that elbow, and then the final out off the bat of Harrison. And it's a no-hitter.
Another walk off of Gibson. This to the number 9 batter. A 2-out walk, and that'll get Fowler to the plate.
Third walk for Gibson. Again, 1 intentional.
How imperfect was your no-hitter? Walks, errors, what happened?
We had an error early in the ball game, and then double play was turned. So I faced the minimum batters with 1 out to go, and ended up walking Lee May on a 3-2 curveball. It's a pretty good pitch. Then I struck out the last batter with a no-hitter. So 1 over the minimum, just like Scherzer. I didn't have a perfect game like he had a chance to get.
Up and away.
And Herman's going to go out and try to get Gibson back into the strike zone. Quick trip to the mound by Chris Herman.
Fowler's 0 for 2. Gibson struck him out to start the game, and then maybe the biggest at bat of the game so far. Bases loaded, 2 out. Fowler was up, and he hit one up the middle. Gibson deflected it. Escobar picked it up, went to the bag, and then ended the inning, and the Cubs ended up leaving the bases full. 1-0 to the Cubs center fielder.
You know, just watching Kyle here today, and he's been pretty consistent all season long. I'm going to use the word nitpick. I think he's trying to nitpick too much. He's not trusting his stuff in the strike zone. He's trying to hit every corner, and he's missing. He's a guy that has to keep that ball down, rely on movement.
Three walks are a bit unusual. One of them an intentional walk, but the intentional walk was signaled for after the count ran 3-0 on Schwarber.
He had a outing against the Toronto Blue Jays here that he struggled. Gave up 8 hits in 5 2/3 innings, but only gave up 2 runs, 1 earned, and ended up throwing 103 pitches into 5 2/3 innings. Got a no decision. Twins won that game 3-2. But even though he's not as sharp here this afternoon, it's still a 1-0 ball game.
And there are 2 out.
Right.
2-1 to Fowler. Now Gibson's gotten Fowler twice here today, but just a handful of plate appearances. But Fowler was 3 for 4 with 2 walks against Gibson coming into the game.
Yeah, that's when Fowler was with the Astros.
2-2.
Good change up there. Gibson making his 14th start. Looking for his 5th win of the year. But you have to go 5 innings to qualify. Trying to get through the 4th here.
And swinging Plouffe, or Escobar rather, over to the right side of the infield. Plouffe's playing where a shortstop would normally play. That's a close pickoff move to first.
Yeah, Russell has a pretty good lead over there. He has 1 stolen base in 4 attempts. A quick throw. And quick tag by Mauer. Again, only 2 stolen bases against Gibson in 3 attempts. He tries it again. And Mauer able to get that ball in his glove.
He's looking in the dugout, and Paul Molitor is yelling at Gibson to not go back on top of the mound because the Twins want to take a look at that. Sean Harlan will be looking at it to see whether Mauer, in reaching for the throw, immediately put the tag on. And now apparently they say no, and Gibson goes to the rubber.
You see the throw right into the sliding Russell.
He's out. He is out.
Yep.
Wow. Well, Twins hope that Fowler is retired here. And he is on the next pitch. Twins down a run, 1-0. It'll be Mauer, Plouffe, and Hunter at the bottom of the 4th. The Bog State Recreation Area, considered the last true wilderness in the state. Located in north central Minnesota, the Big Bog is a vast wetland environment containing rare birds and plants, probably a mosquito or two as well. Visit exploreminnesota.com and discover a world that's only in Minnesota. Share and tag your Minnesota experiences with hashtag only in MN. The Big Bog is a 500 square mile peat bog, the largest in the lower 48 states. Now, I went to high school in north central Minnesota, and I must confess I have no idea where the Big Bog State Recreation Area is. So if someone on Twitter wants to tell me exactly where that's at, I'd like to give it a more definitive plug.
You think they have any land ducks there?
Oh, by the way, I've gotten on Twitter, I've gotten some feedback. You need to get your money back on your duck boat tour, because they do go in the water. And the Charles River.
Maybe the tour I went on was not the actual water tour. It might have been just the historical tour of Boston.
1-1 to Mauer.
I'm not getting my money back. These people work hard.
Castro
pay for the gas.
One down. Mauer retired. He doubled his first time up. That'll bring up Plouffe. Twins had a threat in the first inning. Dozier singled. Mauer doubled, but in
those
between.
People know where I went.
You said you went on the Boston Duck Tour, and I had two people
right outside the hotel there at the West.
I had two people on Twitter said that they got on the duck boats in Boston and it went into the Charles River.
Well, I hope they didn't get wet.
High fastball, a swing and a miss. Plouffe lined out to Bryant to end that first inning threat.
I hope those people had a good time. That Twins' last hit was a double by Mauer in the first inning, so they need to pick it up a little bit here.
1-1.
Number 50 on the afternoon for Arrieta, coming toward Trevor Plouffe. 32 strikes, no walks, a strikeout. 2 hits allowed in the first inning.
Tap foul, 1-2. Twins got just 1 run yesterday, that on a Suzuki home run. Friday night, granted the Cubs helped them out a little bit, but the Twins were slashing doubles and looked like some of the bats were starting to perk up, but then they ran into John Lester, who was outstanding yesterday. 1-2 to Plouffe. Popped up down the right field line, a long run for Norfia. And on the track makes the catch, a fair ball catch for out number 2. We'll bring up Torrey Hunter. You can spend your summer at Target Field and become a Twins season ticket holder with the new Pick 10 plan. Pick 10 games against the opponents that you want to see defeated and save off the box office price. Enjoy sweet spot benefits exclusive to Twins season ticket holders, including 10% off game day food and merchandise at Target Field. Learn more about package options by visiting twinsbaseball.com/pick10 or call 612-33-TWINS. Hunter up and in, ball 1. He tapped back to Arrieta, leading off the second.
You know, when the Detroit Tigers are in and the Twins face David Price, he's a left-handed hitter, of course, but Arrieta almost starts the same way that Price did, just kind of step to the side, doesn't step back. You know, the basic thing why he's done this is get to that balance point. Watch the left leg go up, and then the explosion that he has off of that pitching rubber. See the mark just on the other side of the pitching rubber.
Just out of the reach of Russell, and Hunter's aboard with a 2-out single. Russell went as high as he could, but he couldn't pull it down.
Torrey hitting it sharply. Russell he timed it as well as he could, but just out of his reach. Great effort.
Nunez.
Great effort.
Nunez with a fly to center his first time up. Ball 1.
Nunez been swinging a hot bat. He did get yesterday off to rest those hands. the fingers.
He said he thought it was a miracle he didn't break a knuckle or two, and it just sounded terrible. It was not a full swing, but it was a 3/4 swing, and the pitch hit him on both hands. He said it was more painful yesterday than it was on Friday night because he was playing the game, and said no way he was going to come out of that ball game.
Yeah, we showed you just Kyle Hendricks. He's the one that ended up throwing that sinker inside.
Slow bouncer to short, and the force at second base. Twins have been shut out through 4 innings by Jake Arrieta. Scoring game as you look at our Pepsi fans of the game enjoying the sunshine, enjoying 2 good baseball teams playing against each other, with most of the fans here hoping the Twins will win this series 2-1. Anthony Rizzo will lead things off in the Cubs' 5th against Kyle Gibson. First pitch tapped up the line, foul. Only because I asked and I needed some help. I asked for help and I got it. The Big Bog Recreation Area is up by Waskish, by the upper Red Lake, either in Beltrami or Coochin County. So I would say that.
Have you ever been up that way?
I have been up in that area. I've never been to the Big Bog area, and I would just simply say that's northern Minnesota, not north central. Buxton will go back, and he will watch as Rizzo hits one to straightaway center field. A home run to make it 2-0.
I tell you what, we saw him hit a couple home runs here the other night, and right there, my goodness, this young man's strong. His 15th home run of the year. And when it went off the bat, I thought it was a fly ball. We're going to watch Buxton maybe run it down. But this ball straight away center, sinker down and away. That uppercut swing that we saw here on Friday night. And that is a blast right over the 403 mark.
2-0, and now Bryant. Came inside and missed on a check swing, ball 1.
Yeah, for Gibson, that's the 10th home run that he has allowed. This being his 14th start.
One and one.
Probably Gibson's last inning. That home run marked it, measured at 422 feet. Like the ones I gave up.
Oh, I think you're shortchanging yourself. I saw you give up home runs much longer than that.
And so have I.
1-2.
I had a closer view than you did.
2-2. Absolutely nothing has come easily for Gibson. He did not give up a runner into and have the runner move into scoring position in the fourth, but he did issue a 2-out walk to the number 9 batter. And now another full count. Activity in the Twins bullpen.
Remember Mike Pelfrey a couple outings ago gave up the 8 runs, and he just said, you know, I just didn't have anything. We had him on the air last couple of days, and see Presley warming up. And sometimes you don't, but you know, Gibson has 6 strikeouts now, striking out Bryant for the second time.
So far in this series, Bryant and Buxton, the top 2 prospects in baseball in the offseason, are hitless.
Right. Little breaking ball went straight down.
1 down, and now Montero. He was called out on strikes in the first, single in the third.
I think Jack Morris said it best about these young kids like Buxton and Bryant, and you're going to see Russell, who's only 21. That it's kind of a roller coaster ride. They're not the veterans that have been through it before at this level, that, you know, they don't know how to maybe sometimes get out of a little mini slump, where a veteran says, okay, maybe I won't take any batting practice today. I'll just relax a little bit. I've earned that. You know, and then they go out and stop that little streak, where sometimes a rookie, you try to overwork to try to find that swing. And Bryant, yeah, he's having a bad series, but he's got great numbers coming into this, and hey, he's going to go through it. They all do.
Chop to the right side.
Pitchers do also.
Dozier to Mauer, 2 down. And that'll bring up Castro.
But like Pelfrey, he had that bad outing. How did he respond? Pitching a great outing the time before.
That's why it's so important for players up here, and we've seen a lot of examples of it, for young players to struggle up here, because eventually they need to figure out how to fight their way through it. And no one's happy that Buxton's still looking for his first hit at Target Field, but the hope is that, you know, once that hit comes, and hopefully it'll be later today, then everything will just kind of, he'll relax, and then he'll just be able to
take a deep breath,
play the game. Right. I asked Paul Molitor today, I said, you know, how do you, the ball rolled up the middle, and Dozier will slow it down. It's a base hit with 2 down here in the 5th. How do you handle someone like Buxton, who's supremely talented, 5-tool guy, but he's up here for the first time? And how do you instruct him and, you know, encourage him, have teaching moments with him without overloading him, you know, because the kid's 21 years old.
Right.
And he said, you know, you try to do all the teaching and cajoling and coaching before the game. And then once the game starts, you just hope he's smart enough, and he is, just to go play. And if you retain some of what you've been told and taught and take it into your at-bats or whatever, well, that's great. But once the game starts, don't think about, you know, your hands or your stance in the batter's box. Just go play.
And think what you just said. You're talking to Paul Molitor, a Hall of Famer, that when he came up, he was probably labeled the same as Buxton, a can't-miss type of guy. And he was able to get through that through his rookie season and carried into 20 years of over 3,000 hits.
Coughlin, the batter, 1-0 the count, and he tried to bunt his way aboard, and
thank you.
Herman has an easy play.
Thank you very much.
A home run, a long one at that, for Rizzo, and the Cubs now lead 2-0.
scratch-off tickets, and it's Father's Day. Nothing says Father's Day like baseball and free money. Paul, you guys drove up from Garner, Iowa, a couple hours away, got family and friends everywhere. How special is it on Dad's Day to be out here watching the ball game?
Oh, it's just great. I mean, what else can you ask for on Father's Day? A beautiful day to watch, a Twins game.
And get circled by Bert. Now, you're from Iowa. The Iowa Cubs play there, but you've got Twins gear on, even though we're surrounded by a lot of Cubs fans. I'm very proud of you for that.
Yep. Twins all the way.
Twins all the way, guys. Now we got to get a rally so they can have something to say to these Cubs fans up here for Father's Day.
I tried to circle Grandpa right there. That is awesome when, you can sit there if you're a young kid with your grandpa and your dad, getting to watch a Major League Baseball game. Special. You are all hereby circled.
1-1 to Chris Herman. Escobar and Buxton will follow. Got a lot of great Twins fans in northern Iowa. Garner, Iowa is just a little bit east of Clear Lake and Mason City, a little bit west of Duncan, a little bit west of Britt. South of Forest City. Check swing and a called strike. 2-2.
I like the way you bring your maps, and very educational, really.
It educates me, and
right.
hope it does the viewers. Always like to know where Twins fans are from. And Herman, kind of an awkward swing, but he did make contact to keep the at-bat alive.
Yeah, he struck out in his first at-bat to end the second inning on a good curveball, and right there, Arrieta tried to sneak that fastball by him. Arrieta with only one strikeout, and that was Herman.
Long look in. And the 2-2. Got him on a fastball.
Good movement away on that fastball.
We'll bring up Escobar, but first, the fantastic All-Star finalists have been announced, and we want to help Alex Rand win a trip to the All-Star game in Cincinnati to represent the Twins and Fox Sports North. I'm not sure what Alex his affiliation with the Kansas City Royals is, but maybe he has no affiliation with the Kansas City Royals. It'd be nice to see somebody not affiliated with the Royals at the All-Star game. Go to foxsports.com/fantastic all-star to vote now through June 24th. Strike on the outside corner.
Now, the way the voting's going, they're going to have to, in Kansas City, rent a chartered plane for everybody that's going to go.
Well, I always try to, I'm a glass half full kind of guy, And so here's my thought. I hope that all the Royals do go. None of them will have an all-star break, and they'll be tired in August and September. 1-1 to Escobar. And now 2-1. Strike.
Yeah, a little cutter. That little cutter breaking ball working the outer half of the plate. Arrieta making his 111th Major League start. He has 40 wins, 37 losses. See number 4 where it was. And he came right back with number 5 in the same spot.
We'll bring up Buxton.
2 straight strikeouts for Arrieta.
Buxton hit a comebacker not fielded by Arrieta, and by innings end, Buxton had made it to third base. Made a couple of errors with him in the box around the bases, but he was left there. He's the only Twins batter to have gotten as far as third base. Fox Tracks presented by Ram. Strike on the outside corner. Aaron Hicks had an MRI on his injured forearm area. Structurally, everything is fine. So it's just a matter of the healing process, and then the Twins will decide what to do with center field. 1-1, and what to do with both Buxton and Hicks. I know that, well, if you wanted some athletes in the outfield, you'd be tempted to have Buxton, I suppose, in center and let Hicks play some in the outfield on the corner spots. There wouldn't be too many gappers with those two guys who both can cover a lot of ground.
We talked earlier about all the pitchers the Twins have as far as starters. Now you're talking about all the extra outfielders, abundance of them. It's a nice problem to have.
That's why Jordan Schaefer was released. He just no longer fit in the picture anymore. 1-2 to Buxton. Fly ball, the right field line fairly deep, and Norfia watches it drift back into the seats. And I know Paul Molitor would like to, once Hicks is healthy, and it might be just another week, 10 days. I know as he goes through July, August, and September, he'd like to have fewer games where infielders are playing in the outfield. Seen Escobar play a lot of outfield. Nunez has been in the outfield.
Yeah, we talked about Herman before, just behind the plate. Actually, he did play right field a couple games.
At the knees, Buxton called out on strikes, and Arrieta strikes out the side. Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. 2-0 Cubs going to the 6th inning. Another sluggish day so far for the Twins hitters against Jake Arrieta. And the Twins go into their bullpen now for the 6th inning and bring out Ryan Presley.
Yeah, Presley making his 22nd relief appearance. Very good numbers out of that bullpen. He'll be asked here hopefully to pitch a couple innings, keep the club in the game. And you know what, even though Kyle Gibson struggled for 5 innings, Cubs only have 2 runs.
You know, and it's we've talked about it, when a young pitcher can at least keep your team in the game. Here's a fly down the right field line. Hunter with a long run. It will land in the seats. When you can still keep your team in the game, that's a stepping stone in and of itself.
Yep,
right?
Those are learning experiences for Gibson. Again, you know, we saw May yesterday struggle. First 2 innings were 1-2-3 and then struggled for 4 innings, but he kept the club in the game to where the Twins ended up losing in 10 innings. But he did his job by going deeper in the game than maybe his stuff showed. And I think that's the same thing for Kyle Gibson here.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
You know, baseball, sometimes they put this quality start on 6 innings, 3 earned runs or less, but sometimes you can pitch 5 innings and have, you know, a more quality start than if you had a 8-3 lead in the 6th inning and you're out. Your job is to keep the club in the game, and the starters have done a good job of that all season long.
Well, we talked about Arrieta in his last start. It was just a 5-inning start, and he struggled with his control, gave up 4 earned runs, and he's come back with a great one here today, at least so far, and that's what Gibson will try to do when he makes his next start against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Do what Mike Pelfrey did, right?
Yeah. 1-2, and the ball fouled back. A beautiful day here at Target Field. Happy Father's Day to all of you, from those of us involved in Twins television and the Twins themselves. Twins with a 3-1 mark on this homestand, have 3 games coming up with the White Sox starting tomorrow night. Tap to short.
Good curveball there.
Escobar over to Bauer, 1 away. After the 3 games with the White Sox, and the Twins go on the road, they'll play National League style baseball in Milwaukee and in Cincinnati. A couple of teams with losing records. So important for the Twins here to win this game, and should they win this game, the next 3 series are against teams that have struggled this year. White Sox come into play today 29-38. They lost 8 in a row before winning yesterday. Then the Brewers, who maybe had the highlight of their season here when they took 2 out of 3 from the Twins, but they are 20 games below 500. And then the Reds are 5 games below 500. 1 strike to Schwarber. And another strike from Presley. The Twins doing it a little differently here, and we'll have to ask Paul Molitor why, but now with 2 strikes, instead of sending Plouffe to the right side of the infield, they're simply shifting the shortstop Escobar and moving Plouffe to where a shortstop would normally play. Swing and a miss. Schwarber's gone very quickly, 2 down.
And Presley picking up a strikeout. Good fastball up in the zone. Presley picking up his first strikeout, 7th Cub to go down on strikes.
And now Russell. Russell with a pop up to Dozier, and then he drew a 2-out walk against Gibson in the 4th. Ball 1. White Sox are trailing the Rangers 1-0 in the 6th at U.S. Cellular Field. Royals are trailing the Red Sox 7-0 in the 6th. Cleveland beat Tampa Bay 1-0, scoring a run in the bottom of the 9th. J.D. Martinez with 3 home runs at Yankee Stadium, and the Tigers are going to beat the Yankees. They're leading 12-3 in the 9th. 1-1 to Russell. Hit hard to left field, and it's past Escobar, retrieved by Rosario.
Yeah, that breaking ball stayed up a little bit, and Russell gets his first hit. Lines up sharply in the left field. Presley with a good curveball, and that one not a bad pitch down, but credit the hitter Russell going down and hitting it sharply. The 7th hit for the Cubs. 6 of them coming off Kyle Gibson.
Both the Cubs and the Twins 6 games over the 500 mark. Here's Castro. I'm sorry, Fowler. Fouling it back to the screen. Fowler 0 for 3. And Gibson struck him out twice. Goes the runner, and the pitch popped up to left field. And Rosario with the catch to end the inning. A scoreless 6 for Ryan Presley.
Switch from one Chicago team to another. It's goodbye Cubs, hello White Sox. Join us Monday on Fox Sports North. Our coverage of the Twins White Sox series begins Monday night at 6:30 on Fox Sports North. And now back to Target Field.
The White Sox struggling in last place in the division. Here's Brian Dozier to start the 6th inning for the Twins, and he takes strike one from Arrieta. Dozier with one of the 3 Twins hits, a leadoff single, a sharp liner to left in the 1st inning. Popped up, backing out of play, 2 strikes.
3rd time around for the lineup facing Arrieta. Now with 75 pitches, 51 strikes. Well, he's doing a good job attacking the strike zone. 4 strikeouts. He struck out the 3 batters he faced in the 5th inning. No walks. Allowed only 3 hits. 1 to Dozier.
In discussing the state of the game today, Paul Molitor brought up an interesting point. He says pitching is dominating now in baseball, and 1 and 2 to Dozier. Down and away, 2 and 2. And he said, you know, it used to be if you had a series, you'd have one starter where you'd figure, well, I'm going to make my hay during it. That was the term Paul used. I'm going to make hay in that game because this guy's really struggling. I'm going to get my hits and whatever. He says, rare now is the time when you can look at a series and say, well, this guy is going to be easy pickings. We should score a bunch of runs against him. That's how dominant pitching is. Dozier cracks it foul, but he, within that, said, you know, it makes it even more important for a hitter to isolate each at bat. And while Arrieta's been really good here and the Twins hitters have had a tough time, now Dozier in his 3rd at bat really needs to bear down. It's more important now than it ever was, because everybody, it seems, that who's run out there has the ability to get people out.
You know, the game has changed. I think we talked about it a little bit. Breaking ball right there that Dozier stayed off of, but you know, starting pitching today, give me 5, give me 6 good innings, and then we'll turn it over to a bullpen that normally are guys that throw 95 to 98. So, yeah, pitching is dominating because the starters aren't required to go and face that hitter for, say, the 4th time.
3-2 to Dozier, and a called 3rd strike.
That little cutter right there. Arrieta has retired the last 4 outs for the Twins on strikeouts. Now with 5 in a ball game. Dozier gave up on it, but it's the inner part of the plate.
Kurt Suzuki and the Twins invite you to Aloha Night in 2015. It's a special offer that includes field box or skyline deck tickets Thursday, July 9th. Plus a limited edition Kurt Suzuki Hawaiian t-shirt. A portion of the proceeds will benefit All Pono, a youth sports program in Kurt's native Hawaii. Offer is available exclusively by visiting twinsbaseball.com/aloha. 1 strike to Rosario. And now a ball.
Let's go 1 step further on the starting pitching. I mean, Arrieta's, this is his 111th major league start. He has 1 complete game. And that was a shutout earlier this year, a 1-hit shutout over the Cincinnati Reds in Chicago. You know, so many pitchers the Twins face, especially in today's game, they can have 100. Ball hit right back to Arrieta. He's going to flip it to Rizzo for a quick 2nd out. But so many pitchers now aren't required to go 9 innings anymore. So give me 6, maybe 7 good innings. Then I'll turn it over to the bullpen.
2 down, and now Mauer. He doubled off the fence and left his first time up. Tapped out to short his next time up. You know, looking at Arrieta's cutter, it's got Corey Kluber late movement. I mean, it really looks like a tough pitch to defend when you're hitting up there.
A lot of times when, you know, there's a cutter right there, right in on Joe, and for the 2nd straight out, it's hit right back to Arrieta. So another quick 1, 2, 3 inning for Arrieta.
He's having a tough time getting the ball out of the infield.
Well, Kyle Gibson, we saw, he struggled here. A sacrifice fly scores Rizzo in the 3rd inning. Cubs took a 1-0 lead, and then that's that Anthony Rizzo guy again. 3rd home run of the series, taking it to deep center field, 422 feet away for a 2-0 lead. And Jake Arrieta doing a great job. Arrieta with 5 strikeouts in a ball game, and his shutout came last year. I said it came earlier this year. His only complete game came last September of last year.
Rizzo scored both Cubs runs. He got a leadoff walk in the 3rd and then scored on a fly ball later in the inning, and then he clubbed a big home run, at least a long home run, to straightaway center, leading off the 5th. Now he's leading off the 7th. Outside, 2-0.
Yeah, Rizzo last year made his first National League All-Star team. 32 home runs last year in 140 games.
Went down to his knee and the back leg.
See, I don't, we don't get to see these guys a lot, but if I were pitching against Rizzo, I would try to throw that breaking ball exactly where that was. He does have that uppercut swing. You can go underneath that swing, but you can also go up the ladder with him, especially about inside letter high. You have to stay inside, though.
Foul back, 2-2.
Powerful swing.
People in baseball thought the Cubs were going to be really good with some great young talent. I don't know many thought they would be this good this year. That's hit well to center field again. Buxton back, and he makes the catch on the warning track.
Yeah, about 400 feet away, Buxton has to run down that long fly ball. Out.
I was all twisted knots over your duck boat tour. I don't even remember the carsoup.com trivia question. The last National League player to have 200 hits in a season.
Pete Rose.
Starlin Castro in 2011. 1 down in the 7th, and now Chris Bryant 0 for 11 in this series. Pop up weakly to the right side. Mauer wants it. 2 down. We'll bring up Miguel Montero.
And this is the area that Paul Molitor and Neil Allen see Ryan Presley at his best. This is, give me 2, maybe 3 innings. Longest outing 2 1/3 innings this year. Gone 2 innings a couple times. Looking to get 2 innings in here.
We talk so much about the depth in the organization and starting pitching with Santana and Nolasco off to the side for now. Twins converted Alex Meyer to this role down in AAA, and he's pitching much better in this role than he did as a starter. I don't know that that's a long-term commitment that the Twins have made for Meyer in the role they want him to pitch, but in terms of how it might impact 2015, if Alex Meyer comes up the way it looks now, we're into June and he's pitching 2-3 innings at a time, it's going to be in this role, this type of role.
And you know what, and there's been pitchers in that starter in the minor leagues get called up, like LaTroy Hawkins, say, or Eddie Gordado, that were potential starters that became great setup men and then eventually great closers. So yeah, the idea is to hopefully get Myers up here and see, what role he will play. There's Eddie, the bullpen coach, in his first season. Always talking pitching.
Always talking.
Well.
It's a bit presumptuous of us to predict what he's talking about.
He's a good man.
1-2. Presley, the back of the mound for a little rosin,
which is legal.
Well, yes.
Except if you're Gaylord Perry and you put flour in that rosin bag, you call the poof ball.
Charlie Huff do that too, the knuckleballer. I seem to remember the knuckleballer, he'd throw it and then the ball would appear out of a cloud of white dust.
There's different type of rosin. There, rosin is that real fine kind of like rock that sometimes they'll do. But if you really get it to where it's like powder, yeah, you could do that, bounce it up and down 3 or 4 times, and when you throw that ball, especially a knuckleball, it comes out of a cloud of dust, more or less.
A couple of outfield flies and infield pop-up, another good inning.
Does it sound like I know what I was talking about?
A good inning for Ryan Presley, and let's take a little interlude here and bring you God Bless America.
Rise and welcome Twins audition winners, the Grand Slam Quartet. All of them fathers with a combined 11 children, 16 grandchildren, and 1 great-granddaughter. They're going to lead us in the singing of God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Everybody.
Hey, it's always a great day.
Get to wear the wristbands and things like that to show how much you appreciate your dad. And
When you come home from a game, whether it goes good or bad, kids don't care what happened.
Father's Day is a chance for me to pause and think about the great influence I had from my dad.
We definitely want to honor our fathers because they're very important in our household.
And the Twins hoping to provide their fathers with a happy Father's Day gift. To come from behind win, Trevor Plouffe will lead off the 7th.
Boy, and Arrieta just pounding that strike zone. 16 first pitch strikes and 22 batters faced.
1 strike to Plouffe. High fly left center field. Fowler with the catch, 1 away. Friday night's game was kind of an aberration, kind of a one-sided game. The Twins haven't played many of those one way or the other in June, but it was encouraging from the standpoint the Twins scored or threatened to score in just about every inning. And so you're looking for a game to maybe turn things around for the lineup. I thought that might be it, but the only run they've scored since Friday night, the Suzuki home run early in the game yesterday.
Well, they faced John Lester yesterday, and he's that's why he's making the big bucks. He's a good pitcher, and Arrieta has found a new home. Really, with the Orioles, he was struggling. They kind of took him out of the rotation, got traded, and has taken that to a next level.
Rounded to third, Bryant over to Rizzo, 2 down. I'm beginning to think maybe my name dropping is really appropriate. Arrieta and Kluber, they both rely on late movement. Arrieta's 29. I think Kluber's the same age. It took Kluber a while to figure it out and be the effective pitcher he is now. He's not winning games like he did last year when he won the Cy Young Award, but Terry Francona still thinks that Kluber should be on the All-Star team. He's still got really dominant stuff.
But sometimes changing organizations, changing atmospheres is sometimes the best thing for certain guys. You talked about him coming up with a cutter. That's a positive thought. He's had success with it. So, that's one thing. Coming to a new organization, starting fresh, I think is also important to someone that's trying to establish themselves at the big league level.
2 quick outs in the 7th. Now 2 quick strikes to Nunez.
Again, and with the Orioles, 63 starts, 69 games overall, 20-25 record with a 5.5 ERA, but 47 starts coming in today's start. 20-12 with the Chicago Cubs with an ERA under 3, 2.98.
Grounded foul.
And confidence is a big thing. If you're fighting for a position in Baltimore's organization to be out there every 5th day and they're kind of toying with you, well, hey, maybe the best thing, get out of there and start fresh.
0-2 to Nunez. Trying to grind out a successful at bat here in the 7th inning. Wow. 96 on the outside corner. Dominant stuff from Jake Arrieta here this afternoon.
He's getting stronger as the game goes on.
Kalahari Resort at the Wisconsin Dells features an exciting mix of rides, slides, and adventures for the whole family. From the amazing water park to the indoor theme park, Kalahari offers an array of attractions for children of all ages, plus with amenities such as Spa Kalahari and Salon. Exceptional dining options and championship golf. Kalahari goes beyond your expectations. I know a couple of years ago when Ron Coomer was at the Spa, it went way beyond his expectations.
And ours, too. It's downright scary.
Aaron Thompson will pitch to the Cubs in the 8th inning.
Aaron Thompson worked in yesterday's ballgame, faced only one batter, and as a final out for the Cubs as they beat the Twins 4-1 in the 10th inning. Ended up getting out Montero. for the final out, making his 34th relief appearance.
Castro, Coughlin, and DeNorfia to face Thompson here in the 8th.
Good job by Ryan Presley. 2 shutout innings, keeping it at a 2-0 Cubs lead.
Breaking ball over for a strike. Thompson struggled a little bit the whole season. Really kind of been a struggle for the other left-handed reliever, non-closer Brian Dunsing. Paul Molitor brought up an interesting point this year or this morning on his radio show about the left-handed situation. Says he doesn't really need to go try matching people up because he's got right-handers that are doing such a good job getting left-handers out. Boyer giving up just a 140 batting average to left-handers. Fiend 222. And so the fact that Thompson has hit a rough patch here in the last few weeks or so, and Dunsing's been struggling. The Twins really haven't been crippled by that because Boyer and Fiend have really excelled at getting left-handers out.
Well, you know, Thompson given that opportunity because Brian Dunsing spent some time on a disabled list and took advantage of it. But, you know, over the last month, he's struggled a little bit. But overall, he's done a very good job.
3rd single this afternoon for Castro. And now Coughlin. Thompson still very effective against lefties. A 143 average. It's right-handers that are giving him the most difficulty. Right-handers hitting 293. Coughlin tried to bunt his way on with a hit, or for a hit, his last time up. See if he's asked to sacrifice bunt here. A deep drive to right field. Hunter back to the wall and playing the carom. Buxton fires the ball back in to Escobar. It's a double, and Castro didn't get a particularly good read on it. It's only up at 3rd base.
Yeah, fastball that was hit high off that wall. So the Cubs looking to add to the 2-0 lead. Fastball right there.
Castro could have scored on that ball.
Well, I think, you know, you have to read it off the bat. You kind of hang around second base, but Buxton did a good job backing up that play. Now, if he's not there, then Torrey Hunter has to go retrieve it, and then probably Castro scores.
Twins have the infield in, but it won't matter in the DeNorfia plate appearance. He'll be intentionally walked. So Thompson steps into the game in the 8th inning and now has a bases loaded, nobody out situation with a left-hand hitting Schwarber on deck. White Sox scored a couple of runs in the bottom of the 6th. They now lead 2-1 over Texas.
Second intentional walk here this afternoon to a Cub batter. Kyle Gibson intentionally walked a batter. That in the 2nd inning.
Twins have been able to handle Schwarber pretty effectively. He got a squib hit yesterday. Comes up in a big spot here. Cubs already leading 2-0. Bases loaded, nobody out. Schwarber with 7 strikeouts in 20 at-bats. Fox Tracks presented by Carrier.
We see the infield in. They're going to try to cut the run down at home.
Breaking ball over, strike 1.
And Schwarber going down after today's ball game. Back to not Double-A where he came from, but Triple-A. I think these at-bats, this experience is going to be great for him. Started off good. He's been struggling now as of late.
He will get hitting instruction and catching instruction from former Twin Brian Harper, who's the hitting coach for the Iowa Cubs. Tonkin warming up. 0-2 to Schwarber. Punch to left. It's down for a hit. 1 run in. Rosario firing off target. It's cut off by Plouffe. A 2-run single on an 0-2 pitch for Kyle Schwarber.
Well, Schwarber does go down, which he will. He'll remember this maybe his last at bat up here for a while. Just kind of reached out, and pretty good hitting right there. On an 0-2 pitch, just kind of just threw the barrel of the bat at it, and it went into left field.
A rough outing for Aaron Thompson. He faces 4 men, doesn't retire a man, and now will come out of the game. Cubs have already doubled the lead here in the 8th inning. 4-0 Chicago. Michael Tonkin will pitch next. In the 8th inning, Michael Tonkin will try to get the outs. You can follow live Twins baseball every day with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected to the Twins all season with MLB.TV Game of the Day. In-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, and more. Browse the app's new features, including StatCast tracking videos and bilingual access for Spanish-speaking fans. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
Michael Tonkin coming out of that bullpen. For him, it's his 16th relief appearance, his 3rd stint with the Twins this year. Fastball slider type pitcher, hard thrower, 9 strikeouts in 10 innings of work so far. It's been a while for him to be out on the varsity mound. He last worked on Monday in St. Louis. 2/3 of an inning.
Russell with a pop-up to Dozier, a walk and a single this afternoon. Outside, ball 1. Fastball. Right down the middle, 95 miles per hour, 1-1. Brian Dunsing warming up.
Good movement on that fastball right there.
One and 2. 96, but up and away. crowd here at Target Field, and the Twins have not generated much of anything offensively. And now it's a full count. Still nobody out here in the Cub half of the 8th inning.
Tonka missing a couple times on that big slider. Not able to get it over, so you're Russell, you're looking straight fastball.
Fouled away.
He got it and he fouled it off. Well, relievers have to come in and establish, especially their secondary pitch right away. Yeah, we'll see Perkins come in, establish that fastball, then mix in that breaking ball and get it over for strikes.
And Russell fouls it straight back. Saw Dunsing warming up. Fowler, the on-deck hitter. See how many batters Tonkin is asked to get or face.
Yeah, after that is a left-handed hitter, Rizzo.
Foul.
Foul ball right off of Herman.
Another 3-2 pitch coming. And Russell having a good at bat here.
Yeah, 3 straight fastballs fouled off. Tonkin's breaking ball, he could almost start it at him because it does break big, that big slider. But does he have the confidence to throw it here after 3 straight fastballs? And he tries it, but not even close. So the bases are loaded with nobody out.
In the inning, a single, a double, an intentional walk, a 2-run single, now a walk.
I said, you know, you got to be able to get your secondary pitch over, and he tried it on 3-2 after 3 straight fastballs, and you see kind of a spinner.
Yeah. Fowler, a switch hitter, but he's been much better from the right side of the plate than the left. Tonkin can probably be assured. Herman, I think, went back to get a different mask, to get some equipment adjustment at the very least. Infield in. 2 runs already in. And Tonkin trying to keep the damage to a minimum here. That's a foul ball and won't be caught. 1 strike.
And if you're on the on-deck circle, like Fowler was, you're watching the at-bat to Russell. You see that he can't get the breaking ball over. Ends up walking him on a breaking ball. What do you sit on? You sit on a fastball. Saw the splits before Fowler as a right-hander and left-hander.
Down and away. Tonkin's been the shuttle reliever between Rochester and Minnesota, and if the Twins ever do cut back to 12 pitchers from 13, he might be the guy to go back to Rochester.
He had 3 stints with the Twins last year. Just misses with a fastball in there. And this is his 3rd stint this season.
2-1. Deep to right field. And a grand slam for Dexter Fowler. And it's a 6-run inning. Four runs charged to Aaron Thompson and 2 more now to Tonkin.
4th home run that Tonkin has allowed, and it's a big one. A grand slam by Fowler, his 8th home run of the year. And it opens up this game to a 8-0 Cubs lead. That fastball where left-handers like it, down and in. Fowler just dropping the bat. And over the limestone in right field for a grand slam.
And the Cubs have busted the game wide open here with a 6-run inning. Still nobody out. Rizzo will hit. He homered earlier today. It's a short fly ball to left center field. And Rosario is intercepted by Buxton, who makes the catch, one away.
A little conversation right there. Center fielder does have the right away, more or less.
And now Bryant.
Got to be able to hear each other right here as they both converge, and Buxton cutting in front of Rosario.
Outside ball one. Fouled back.
That grand slam hit by Fowler, only the second. It's the second grand slam hit off the Twins this year. Stephen Vogt hit one back when Oakland was here in early May. It came off of Phil Hughes.
Breaking ball left up high. Cubs having some fun all year long, and that fun is extended here last couple of afternoons at Target Field. Fouled back.
Last time the Cubs, and that's where they want to get to postseason. Of course, back in 2008 when they lost to the Dodgers in 3 straight, but have not won a World Series since 1908.
Swing and a miss. And that's out number 2.
But I think you see the direction the Cubs are going, that maybe that's in their future. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins.
Montero will bat, 9th man to bat. The first 6 guys who came to the plate have all scored here in the 8th inning. Kyle Gibson went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, both earned. Ryan Presley faced 7 men, got 6 outs, and then a big 6 up on the board here in the top of the 8th. It's hit hard to right field, off the base of the wall, and Montero has a single. And that'll bring up Castro, who started this inning with his 3rd single of the day.
Yeah, Montero with his 2nd hit of the ball game. And Thompson and Tonkin have been hit hard here in the 8th inning. Fastball right there.
You can see Tonkin's fastball, while it can reach 96, pretty straight. And if he elevates it at all, it can get hit pretty hard, and that's what's happened here in the 8th inning. Down and away, ball 1. Castro with a 3-for-3 day going. 3 singles and a sacrifice fly. He drove in the first run of the game back in the 3rd inning. 2-0. 24 pitches for Tonkin, 13 strikes. There's a strike on the outside corner. Tapper to short. And that wraps up a top of the 8th inning that has seen they did enough hitting. When 11 men come to the plate, 10 men come to the plate, 6 of them score, and it's 8-0.
Of the 8th. Stay with us directly after the game. It's for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We'll take a look at Jake Arrieta today, one of the top pitchers in the National League, and boy, has he been tough on the Twins hitters. We'll also take a look at Anthony Rizzo and the Cubs offense, which has exploded to take an 8-0 lead. We'll bring you inside the Twins clubhouse. We'll hear from Paul Molitor, and we'll also preview the upcoming series, guys, with the Chicago White Sox as the Twins need to get some offense cooking. Runs have been hard to come by, except for Friday night.
Yeah, not much in the way of scoring threats here. Maybe the best threat came in the very first inning when the Twins got a single and a double. But the hits,
that was that double play.
Yeah, the hit sandwiched a double play grounder. Here's Herman 1-0. Now a ground ball headed up to the middle, backhanded by Russell, and Herman retired one away.
11 straight now retired by Arrieta.
Here's Escobar, a fly to left and a strikeout.
Arrieta with 6 strikeouts in the ball game, no walks, 94 pitches, 65 strikes.
Swing and a miss.
19 of 26 first pitch strikes, so he is working ahead in the count. Looking for his 7th win of the year in his 14th start.
Look at this, still throwing 96. I don't know that. I mean, John Lester pitched a great ball game, but I'd be interested to talk to the Twins hitters, and I will. Bet you they would tell you this guy is even nastier than Lester was yesterday. I mean, he's got all the components here. Guy throws 96. He's been able to spot it on the outside corner when he wants to, and then a 92, 93 mile per hour cutter. What are you supposed to do with that?
Kind of do exactly what the Twins have not been able to do.
Hit 2 hoppers and strike out. 1 and 2.
Arrieta last year in spring training had some shoulder stiffness. It took him a while to get going into rotation, but 10 wins, 5 losses, and 25 starts, an ERA at 2.53 last year. Came into this ball game with a 3.4 earned run average, 6-5 on the year. But you read some of the notes at 5 of his starts when he was on the mound, the Cubs did not put a run on the board. So he's kept the club in the game in almost every start.
2 and 2. Full count. Buxton on deck.
Haven't seen too many of the curveballs, mainly fastball, sinking fastball, the cutter.
Full count to Escobar. Rears back. Yep. Lets it fly at 96.
Yeah, 8-0 lead. You don't want to walk anybody. He has not walked anybody yet. And really, you know, after the first inning where he needed the most pitches, he has been right on. All right, yeah, a little cutter right there. And Escobar, I'm sure, thinking fastball. And Arrieta picks up his 7th strikeout.
Arrieta's been in control. The Twins with just 3 hits. 2 of them came in the first 3 at bats.
Look at the movement of all those pitches. There's nothing that's really straight. Everything cuts and sinks the other way. There's maybe one that is straight, but it was at 96 that hit the outer half of the plate.
Strike called to Buxton. Reached on an error and was called out on strikes.
It's a good thing he's in the National League. Get him out of here.
See him again for 3 years. Chopped foul, and Buxton in a familiar spot. He's fallen behind 0-1, 0-2 in many of his at-bats. The strikeout started to come in the 5th inning. Arrieta only had, what, 1 strikeout in the first
4 innings.
4 innings. And he struck out the side in the 5th, got 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. Buxton taps a 96-mile-per-hour fastball foul.
It's almost an easy 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Well, Lester, you know, you watch him, he's a grinder. Where Arrieta just kind of stays on top and lets it fly. And there's Buxton's family. They'd like to see a hit before they maybe head home.
Foul away. Still 0-2.
Most pitches Arrieta has thrown in a ballgame 116. Right now, this will be 107.
There it is. Buxton with a sharp single to left on an 0-2 pitch.
So Montero, the catcher, put down curveball, and Arrieta said no, fastball. I want to challenge this young man, and there's his 3rd major league hit, his 1st here at Target Field. So his family is here. Don't know when they're leaving, but there's his 1st hit.
That should loosen the collar.
Hope so.
Earlier today, got his first stolen base. He won't be stealing here with the Twins down by 8 runs. Here's the Dozier. Chop, foul, 1 strike.
Arrieta's longest outing this year came against the Mets in Chicago, where he went 8 innings, gave up only 3 hits and a run. That's the game he threw 116 pitches. That came in the middle of May.
One and one to Dozier.
Don't care what the scoreboard says, you still want quality at bats.
High fly center field. And the highlight of the day offensively is Buxton's first target field hit.
The one that played catch with you and took you to the yard and as your young kids give you advice.
My dad was a pillar for me, exemplary in how he took care of his family.
I wouldn't be where I am today without my dad, so playing on Father's Day and being able to, represent him and myself, it's always fun.
Fathers, we raise our young boys and our beautiful daughters. We try to raise them. We go out and we provide for them. We protect those guys.
This is back. This is gone. Unbelievable.
I think I'm the happiest father in this world right now.
It's a special thing, dads in baseball, dads and their sons.
Father's Day is a chance for me to pause and think about the great influence I had from my dad.
That was awesome with Mr. Rosario.
And it made me think, what a nice treat for the Buxton family, too, to be here on Father's Day. And they saw Byron get his first target field hit, finally, in an otherwise lopsided game. Buxton with a sharp single to left. Brian Dunsing into the ball game to pitch in the ninth inning.
Yeah, Brian making his 26th relief appearance. Of course, he missed almost a couple weeks on a disabled list with that right intercostal strain, and it's been a struggle this year for Brian. You see the high earned run average.
Tap foul.
Last couple outings have been better. In his last outing last Monday against the Cardinals, he went an inning and a third, and you're hoping that they'll stretch him out a little bit, because Brian had been asked a lot to maybe get 1 or 2 outs. Just get him back in the dugout, get him back out there again, let him loosen up and find his nasty stuff.
Second consecutive sellout here at Target Field. 40,273 the paid.
Yeah, 3-game series drew 117,156 fans. So thank you, fans, for your support.
1-2 from Dunsing to Coughlin.
Today being the 4th sellout. And a good fastball right there. Dunsing picks up a strikeout.
One down in the ninth inning. That'll bring up the Norfia. Norfia reached on an intentional walk his last time in, or last time up, and came in on the Fowler grand slam. Good news is the Royals are getting thumped pretty good by the Red Sox today. 12-0 in the ninth inning at Kauffman Stadium. One strike, and now 2 strikes. Down and in. Schwarber will hit next. In the dirt, 2-2. Arrieta doesn't look like he's done yet.
Well, there's some action in the bullpen. 110 pitches for Arrieta.
If this game doesn't get abruptly and dramatically turned around, it'll be the second time the Cubs have won a series here. Last time they won a series here in Minnesota, it was at the Metrodome. Tom Kelly was still the manager. Two and two. On the ground. Plouffe picks it up, going to his left. 2 down. And before Schwarber has his at bat, we'll get you caught up on some Major League Baseball news and notes. Big day for J.D. Martinez. First time in the big leagues he's hit 3 home runs in a game. Masahiro Tanaka started that game and got shelled early. Yunel Escobar with a home run, 3 runs batted in for the Nationals. Cody Anderson will made his Major League debut. And pitchers duel. Indians got a run in the 9th inning to win the ball game 1-0.
I wonder the home runs by J.D. Martinez, if any of them went to right field. Tremendous power the other way.
At Yankee Stadium,
for sure,
he can shatter his bat and still hit one out to right. Very strong hitter. 1 strike to Schwarber. 2 strikes.
Good fastball there by Bryant at 93, 94.
And Dunsing has a good inning. A 1-2-3, top of the 9th. Or the White Sox come to town here, and you can see the pitching matchups are Century Link. What's next? I think it's safe to say, isn't it, that Chicago has one overachieving team and one underachieving team, and now the underachievers will come.
Yeah, Danks has struggled here. You know, Salta Lamacchia, you'll be facing the Twins for the 3rd time, and then on the Wednesday game, Chris Sale. What's he at? 12 strikeouts, 4 straight games.
The last time the Twins faced him and beat him, they scored early, and then he shut the door the rest of the way, and he has been absolutely lights out ever since.
Well, look at Arrieta out here, 111 pitches, looking for that shutout.
He's starting to glow.
Oh, you know what? To me, shutouts always were something that was important to me because nobody's up in the bullpen, or there was. We saw Medina, right, I believe, in the bullpen, but give those guys a day off once in a while, especially if you have a shutout going. And what's the difference between 100 pitches and 125? You have 5-6 days to rest.
Foul back 1-2 to Rosario.
I mentioned Arrieta, 111 start, only 1 complete game. That was a shutout last year. 7-0 win over the Cincinnati Reds in Chicago came on September 16th. A 1-hit shutout.
Handle of the bat with the cutter, flared foul.
There, a 1-hit shutout against the Reds in Chicago. That would almost make you a mayor of Chicago, wouldn't it, if you throw a complete game shutout?
1-2 to Rosario.
Nice grab by the manager, Paul Molitor.
Kenny Vargas is in the on-deck circle. And another 1-2 pitch coming. And Arrieta, who juggled a comebacker earlier, makes a nice fielding play there. 1 down.
I think that's the fourth hit ball back at him, and he's 3 for 4. Not bad. Arrieta follow through. The one hopper reaches out, gets the first out.
Vargas hitting in what was Mauer's spot. Joe went 1 for 3 today with a double off the left field fence.
Actually, 5 balls hit back up the middle to him, and that one was misplayed in the 3rd inning.
Up and away, ball 1. 3 bench players today for the Twins: Vargas, Suzuki, and Robinson. Big swing and a miss. The cutter comes in where a lot of fastballs sit. 91, 92 miles per hour. I think earlier we saw a 93 mile per hour cutter. Slower breaking ball.
That's the curveball there.
2-1.
You know, Mariano Rivera is the one that mastered that cutter, and it seemed like, you know, everybody wanted to throw that pitch. Seems like his cutter is a little bit bigger. There's a fastball right there at 95. A little bigger break than Rivera. Rivera only maybe, what, 3 or 4 inches, and he could pinpoint that cutter. Arrieta, now 120 pitches.
To center. And Fowler back.
And that pitch at 96 miles an hour.
2 down. And that'll bring up Plouffe.
Well, we've seen as high as 97, as low as 78. Pitching a whale of a ball game.
He just went 5 innings in his last start and had all sorts of control issues. Walked 6. It was a National League style game, so by the time he completed 5 innings, the Cubs were down 4-0. They had to take him out for a pinch hitter. But he's 1 out away from going the distance here today. Plouffe to right center field. Fowler over. And the Cubs win the last 2 games of this series using dominant starting pitching to shut down the Twins. And in today's case, Arrieta completely shut them out.
John Lester yesterday, Jake Arrieta here this afternoon. What a performance. His 2nd career shutout.
No Twins home runs hit in the game. Over $2 million have been raised so far during the Home Run Challenge. You still can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. Tom Hanneman, Twins started this homestand with 3 straight wins, but now tomorrow when the White Sox are here, they'll have to try to end a 2-game losing streak.
Dick, the Cubs club the Twins on Father's Day here at Target Field. A 6-run 8th, the difference. Up next on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We'll talk about Jake Arrieta's masterpiece, aided by Anthony Rizzo. We'll hear from Molly and preview this series with the White Sox.